Welcome back to the Full Time Ultras. We are getting forward to the business end of the things of the Euros, and we are here to look forward to the quarterfinals. What a round of games we had in the knockout stages, the round of 16. Some big upsets. We'll talk about that as well, but mostly we'll be looking at the quarterfinals, some cracking ties to analyze. But before we start the video, a basic plea to just do the usual like, share, and subscribe to the video, and turn the notification bell on so that you know when we drop our videos. Lot of videos to look forward to. Semi-finals and finals of the Euros also coming up. But we'll straight away get into it. We've got the usual gang. We've got Aditya and Raghav to preview the quarterfinals. And let's get straight into it. I think the first quarterfinal itself, this game could potentially be like we were discussing, it could have potentially been the semi-final, but it could have been the final as well.
Yeah.
But because of some teams, kind of, I don't want to use that word, but some teams kind of, losing it out.
Yeah.
We've got this fixture right away in the first quarterfinal, and it is Spain and Germany. Two teams that have arguably been the best sides. Spain hands down and Germany pretty close. But we'll start with you, first of all, as the German fan. Start complaining.
Actually, I did my complaining in the last episode, I feel. I'm actually excited for this game because I think this has all the potential to be the best game of the tournament. And two really exciting sides, two sides that press high, that can be direct, and they just know how to play good football. Or at least so far they have shown that. I don't know what will happen when they face each other. It could be another snooze fest because the Euros have been turning out a few of those. But I'm looking forward to this one, honestly speaking. I'm just excited.
But since, like, when you look at Spain, right, they've been probably one of the best teams, like the best teams in the Euros in terms of not only the overall game, but also attacking as well. Most goals they've scored in the tournament. They've conceded the fewest. The goal against Georgia, which came earlier, that was the first goal they conceded this competition. So when you look back also at the German game against Denmark, they kind of tend to struggle in the first half in terms. Denmark should have been ahead as well for that fraction of an offside. Are you worried going into this game, considering that Germany have won games, but even against Switzerland, there were a few chances in the first half where Switzerland could have been 2, probably 3 up. So this Spain side being so heavy on transition, are you a little bit worried going into this?
So the thing is, I think that trait goes both ways because both teams can be direct, but also both teams can be got at, because Georgia also did have a few chances on the counter attack. So that's a positive and a negative, obviously. It depends on, like, I think it would hinge on which team has a bit more control than the other. But the fact that Spain also can be got at is what's got me excited about Germany's prospects of progressing. Because, like, we saw that even in the Denmark game. It wasn't like Germany were just trying to play through Denmark the whole time. You saw that long ball coming, Rudiger to Havertz. Havertz was making that run in behind. The Musiala goal actually comes from, it was route one, Schlotterbeck over the top to Musiala.
Yeah.
So it's not like Germany can't do that. Of course, Spain have been probably hands down the best side of this tournament so far. And they attack with a lot of flair and a lot of directness. And it's like their era of tiki-taka has just fallen by the wayside. This is it's a brand new direction in which they're going. That's very dangerous, obviously, but I don't think there's any shame in, even if Germany do lose this game, there's no shame in losing to the Spain side, given how they're playing. So,
do you think your midfield is capable enough to compete with Spain's midfield?
Honestly, yes. Before the tournaments, I had my doubts, but if you take into account how the rotations work and how, like, everyone just kind of floats around and drops in, pulls wide, all those kinds of rotations, I think this can be a productive game for Germany, the German midfield and attack. And Spain are probably the first side that will set up tactically, specifically trying to stop those rotations, because they do have the quality to do that. But again, let's see. It's going to be fun. I'm just excited mostly.
So, Raghav, Spain have not lost a single game. in any of their last 4 games against Germany in major tournaments. So they've won 2 and they've drawn 2. Most recently, the one being in the last World Cup. These two teams met in the group stages, 1-1. What do you have to make about this Spain team, and why do you think this Spain team has been so good?
I've been proven wrong, like massively, because before the tournament I was like, this team is not going to make it past the round of 16. But the way they performed is like, it is hands down one of the best Spain teams, and they've found a way to accommodate all the all of their best players, unlike a certain white jersey wearing side.
We'll come to them
Yeah.
later.
But
yeah.
but the thing, no, I was talking about England. If it
Yeah,
needs
no,
clarification.
it was abundantly
Yeah,
clear. I don't think
exactly.
anyone would have mistaken
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so my thing is that they've accommodated Nico Williams, they've accommodated Yamal, and Morata playing as a striker. He drops in deep so that Yamal and Nico Williams. It's a classic. Klopp has done it at Liverpool. It's worked. It's worked wonders for him. So what's worked is that De La Fuente has found a formula where his wingers are his primary threat of attack, and the striker plays a supporting role. So usually you see the number 9 being the main guy, but here the wingers are the main guys who are the more threatening people, and the midfield. Fabian Ruiz has been exceptional in this in this Euro so far. Rodri, nobody has ever doubted the
Clutch,
quality
yeah.
that the guy has, and and Pedri has been, as you said, on his day he can be a brilliant midfielder, and he's proved it. But yeah, they've found a way to accommodate everything, and the style change has worked because playing on transition seems to work for this team.
Yeah.
So this tiki taka wouldn't have worked for Nico Williams. It doesn't work for Yamal because they tend to like to take on defenders. That's their type of game. And De La Fuente has let them play their game, and it's worked wonders. Like, it shows most goals scored, least conceded.
So when you talk about Spain being highly reliant on their wingers in Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, do you think they'll be targeting the right back and the left back of Germany? Because Kimmich against against a pacey winger, is that the weak spot in Germany's team?
No, I don't think so. Kimmich is defensively sound. He can. He's capable of taking a defender and like keeping him quiet. And on the other side, I think Raum, he played well in the round of 16, and I think he will be preferred again to Mittelstadt in the quarterfinal. Considering Yamal is the threat that is gonna come against him, so I don't think that's. I think Germany are competent enough. They need to work out how to control the midfield though,
Yeah.
because that Spain midfield is really energetic.
Yeah.
And Kroos and Andrik, like, they need to find a way
To not be overrun.
to not be overrun, because they can be easily overrun, and it's a proven fact. Even Aditya will agree that Germany are vulnerable on the transition. On transition, they are vulnerable. Considering no disrespect, but Kroos and Andrik, they're not the paciest of players. They are technically really good, but they're not the speedsters in the midfield.
Yeah.
So if Spain target that, I think they can play through Germany.
So would you agree to it? Would you go with? Are you comfortable enough with Kimmich being able to do a job over Nico Williams? And on the other side, would you prefer Rom? Because Rom is a little bit more attacking, but then on the counter, he could be gotten at because you're going to have Lamine Yamal over there. So would you go more safer and say that we go in Mittelstadt, who is a better defender, or you stick with Rom?
I think that's an interesting question because also the way they provide the attack is a bit different because Raum is more, you use Raum to like stretch the play, and you use Mittelstadt more as an inverter, like who comes inside. So I think Mittelstadt would be preferred here because one, as you said, Spain's midfield is quite good. So to have more numbers in the middle, that's important. And also in possession, the structure is Kroos dropping into that left back space. So let's see who's actually defending that like half space or that white space on the counter for Spain. And on the other side, I don't think Kimmich. I think Kimmich is reasonably good as a defender. I know he had a lot of trouble against Vinicius, but Vinicius is one of the best. I know Nico Williams is also good, But as a team, if it's not like it, the only issue is obviously in transition.
Yeah.
But if it's in settled possession, I do think Germany can hold out, and even Spain can hold out. I think the control and transition will probably be the keys to this game.
I think I would rather, I would want, like, I would have transitioned to a back three as well. I would consider transitioning to a back three,
Germany.
because that would allow Kimmich to come in, and you would have two wing backs, and that would give you a separate dimension of attack. And with Wirtz and Musiala, you already have two for that 3-4-3. You already have two tens. So I think that.
So then you're dropping you're dropping either one of Gundogan, Kroos or Andrik.
Yeah,
You're dropping
exactly.
two of them. If you want to bring Kimmich inside, then you are dropping two of the three.
Yeah, they'll have like something like that. I think it could work because because back three will give them a bit more stability and an extra man to curb that midfield side of Spain.
I won't put it past Nagelsmann, because Nagelsmann, one of the key points about Germany this tournament is the ability to change and adapt into the game, and Nagelsmann has been historically really good at that, and he's proving that he knows the right balance between too much instruction, like giving too many instructions, and also letting the players just go out and do their thing, which is required in a national team. So I won't put it past him, but I still think even if it goes to a back three, you can't have
So it would
like-
be either Wirtz or Musiala, one of them dropping out, and Gundogan playing alongside one of
maybe
the other
possibly,
one.
because I think Kimmich would still be on the right.
Wing
And
back position.
yeah, but I don't know if that will happen. Won't put it past him, but I don't see it.
So we'll go on to predictions, but before we get your predictions, I just want to read you one thing, that the last 4 games in major tournaments has produced just 6 goals. So Spain have scored 4, and Germany have scored just 2 goals in 4
Yeah.
games. So with that, I'll start with you. What do you think is going to happen? What's your prediction for this game?
Germany on penalties.
Germany on penalties.
Yeah.
Are there going to be goals in this?
1-1, and then Germany on penalties.
What do you say, Raghav?
I'm gonna say 2-1 Spain
In 90.
in 90.
You?
2-1 Spain.
It's a very difficult game to predict, but in terms of what I've seen, I still feel there is a vulnerability to the German side. They're still not there. Like, they've had a
it's
fantastic
definitely-
tournament. I think
Yeah.
they've done well in front of their fans, but when I've seen the game against Switzerland, where they have been a little bit more direct, I think Switzerland should have had many goals in
Yeah.
that first half, and then Germany, of course, they came back into it. And then also against Denmark, I think they were very unfortunate to not, like, Denmark
Yeah.
were quite good, quite settled, and
Yeah.
the first goal comes from a penalty, from a handball. So I think Spain, as of now, where they are, in terms of what I have seen, Spain have a good chance of winning it. So I will also go with 2-1 in 90 minutes. But that's the thing with knockout football, and then
Yeah.
you cannot discount home support. So yeah, it's a very, very difficult game to predict. Even the odds are like, it's the minuscule difference in terms of the odds
Yeah.
for both teams. So it's a very difficult game to predict. But past,
Yeah.
go on.
No,
go on.
yeah. Just to correct something you said earlier, I think Germany have scored more goals than Spain.
No, I'm talking about major competitions.
No. You started off with saying that Spain had scored the most goals in the Euro so far. So I think Germany have scored 10 and Spain have scored 9. Correct me if my math is wrong.
But I think Spain got 4 against Georgia.
That got them up to 9.
9. Germany got 5 against Scotland.
Germany got 5 against
Yeah,
Scotland.
5, 2, 1,
correct.
2.
Yeah.
So Germany, it's best score, most potent attack versus the most best defense, basically.
Yes. Okay.
And
my bad, yeah.
one last stat before we move on. Spain have failed to beat a host nation in all attempts at World Cup or Euros. Not
Okay.
that it means much for this game. It's just a stat.
But it's one of these games where we're gonna have our eyes peeled to the screen, because this is a game where you can't even miss a second of, because the quality on the pitch is going to be so stunning. But
Our
The
eyes
next
will
game-
be peeled on our very own German fan.
Yeah.
because it's a double header on Friday, and the next game is if not even a more competitive game, because pre-tournament these two teams were the favorites, and then another quarter-final where this could have also been a potential final or a semi-final. We'll move on to France and Portugal. Such an amazing game, but on the contrary, both teams have not been that good, right? In terms of their attack, defense. Okay, they've been having clean sheets. But their attack has not been clicking. We'll start with France first, Aditya. Obviously, it's with Mbappe. It's very difficult to play with that mask. A lot of players have said that
Yeah.
the mask is a big distraction when you're playing in terms of analyzing depth and your vision and your perception of things. But in terms also, it's not clicked for them as a unit. Like defensively, they look very strong. I think Belgium had their chances in that game. What do you think is going wrong with France? Because France also, as a team, like we spoke in the last episode as well, they have that ability to just claw on to the next stage, and then they find that one game quality and they'll have the potential to win the tournament. But do you think there's something different with this team at the moment?
No, I mean, I think in my research, what I've read, France under Deschamps have been quite like they haven't been poor by any means, but they've been quite content to be like just get the result.
Yeah.
There have been like really exciting games as well, obviously, but they don't really care about playing the most entertaining football. They're all about getting the job done, and I mean you can't really argue against that track record because they've reached the last two World Cup finals, and they should have seen off Switzerland in the previous Euro. They were pegged back. They were 3-1 up with 9 or 10 minutes to go, and then it was fairly unfortunate. So you can't really argue against how they're playing under this manager, but they have been a bit underwhelming. And like this Belgium game was probably the most boring game I've watched at this tournament
for both teams.
both teams, obviously. And like it was like Belgium was so content to just pass it around at the back, and France were too afraid to commit their players into a press for fear of being opened up. So it was just I almost fell asleep watching that game, honestly speaking. But again, it's knockout football, and it is about not making mistakes, and it's about getting the job done. And France have been very good at that in these past few years. So yeah, I wouldn't really rule them out, even if they're not playing the most attractive football. Somehow, like you said, they do find a way, and then all they require is like one game where everything clicks, and then they've like suddenly playing very fluid attacking football, and then they can carry that through to the rest of the tournament.
Raghav, what do you make of Portugal? Like the last game obviously was a struggle for them, physically and emotionally as well, but they had their chances as well to kind of get something from it. But Portugal have also been one of those teams that have, like England in a way, that have struggled to break low blocks down. And what do you make of their prospects going into this game? Like, do France see Portugal and be like, yeah, we have enough of quality in our attack to kind of counter attack Portugal because they struggle against a low block? So let's set up deep and then let's allow Portugal to come on to us and then we hit them on the counter.
I think that could work for France because, like, Portugal when they attack, it's bombardment. It's like Bernardo Silva, it's Rafael Leao on that side. Cancelo likes to bomb forward. Nuno Mendes likes to bomb forward. But like this Portugal side, like no disrespect, he is a living legend. But I feel that they're severely restricted in that game because of Ronaldo. Like age has caught up to him. It I can clearly see it, and it's really sad and breaks my heart to say it that he's not able to keep up with these players. Because you see the likes of Rafael Leao, you see the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Vitinha, such a good player, nimble-footed. Like he drives the midfield forward. I think Ronaldo is not able to keep up with them, and age is a factor, and it has caught up with him finally. Like we've referred to him as a machine all these years, but age finally seems to be the factor, and he's not able to keep up. He's not able to convert the chances. The leap has gone down. His vertical leap that he's renowned for, like CR7 Airlines that everybody talks about. that wasn't there.
Couple
And
of chances where he
Couple of
couldn't
chances,
time
good,
his
good
jumps right.
chances. He's still. I feel that there's a hunger to do it, but the ability is going down.
Yeah.
So the balance is not there. The hunger is still there, but the ability and the age has caught up to him. He's not able to do it. The free kicks he should have let up after 2. I think he should have given it to Bernardo Silva or Bruno Fernandes. Like the other free kick takers on this side should have given it up. And I think the putting on Diego Jota or Goncalo Ramos and dropping Ronaldo could be a secret to unlocking this Portugal side, because there's a lot of potential. Rafael Leo is magic on that left side with his bag of tricks. Bruno Fernandes, creative machine. We all know that Vitinha can drive forward like anything. He's a player to watch out for, because with that double pivot alongside Palhinha, he drives forward. He can get out of tight spaces. And I think that it's maybe time to take the tough decision.
What do you make of this, Aditya? Because it was, as a footballing fan, it was really difficult to watch what happened on that pitch, because it was a moment where Ronaldo finally, I think he felt the world of pressure on his shoulders, and like he felt that, yeah, maybe it's not happening for me. And it can happen to athletes, because like you're so used to things going in your favor, like because your ability to produce that has been so good. But then suddenly I've heard a lot of ex players also say that it's in that one instance where you realize that, yeah, age has caught up. So I think that was that game where he kind of realized it was really sad to watch what happened. But it's a fact that Ronaldo is not going to be dropped. Right?
Yeah.
It is a fact, right?
Yeah.
So we can't be sitting here and saying that, yeah, I accept what Raghav's saying, I respect what Raghav's saying, that it's time, but maybe at this moment he's not going to do it. Like Martinez is not going to do it.
Yeah.
So what I kept thinking is that if you have Ronaldo in your team, is there a way to get something better out of him? Like, say maybe partnering him up with another striker, so that he does not have to do all. Maybe a Jota, like, who can get things to him, someone who's closer to him, right? Not leave Ronaldo up front all by himself. Is that something that can work? How do you think you can get the best out of Ronaldo in that team at the moment with all his restrictions?
Honestly, there are two things here. One is what I think should happen, and one is what's actually going to happen. And what I think should happen is I agree with him.
Yeah.
Because I've been saying this since the start of the tournament, that he like takes away a lot of the things out of possession, and he's not quite that. Like, no, this is meant as no disrespect to him, because I mean, come on, he's one of the greatest footballers who's ever lived. So there's no shame in being this way. He's really old, and most players his age can't keep up with him at this point. But it's just a simple fact of the matter that he's lost his edge. But obviously, with the ego and the whole political situation, the risk of dropping him, I agree with you. I don't think that's happening. But the issue with maybe playing someone else up front with him is that you kind of empty the midfield, which is not a risk most managers will take, especially in knockout games, because in a way you're ceding control for more attacking power. And international knockout tournaments, they're not about attacking. They're about not making that mistake. They're about defending well, getting 1 goal or 2 goals, but it's primarily about not conceding.
Yeah. How about a back three?
It's possible. It's like they can do it with a lot of rotations and stuff, but then you'll probably have to move the two outside, the wingers more as inside forwards in a more supporting role. Then you're going to
sacrificing Vitinha in a way.
Because then you're also going to have to ask the question of where will Bruno fit in, because Bruno is better higher up the pitch. I don't think Bruno is quite adept at playing or at least he cannot control a game in a more defensive
Maybe Bruno
sense.
will play as a 10. You have Jota and Ronaldo up front, and then you go with Palhinha and Bernardo. Because Bernardo has played
Bernardo
deep for City.
Bernardo can play a lot of different roles. But
I think you curb Rafael Leao to a certain extent as well in that system. because Leao.
Yeah.
So you're dropping Leao and Vitinha.
Exactly. So that don't know about dropping Leao, but if he plays in that inside forward, he's good at stretching games.
Yeah.
Out wide, he comes in or goes out, puts the cross in. So that's what Rafael Leao specializes in. And if you play a back three with that 2 inside forward system, which Germany kind of play with Musiala words, then you're curbing the talents of one of your best wingers.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think Leao works better from going from out to in.
Yeah.
If he's starting in the a bit more centrally, it's a bit more difficult because
It becomes cramped up.
exactly, and like teams do like to block out the center.
Yeah.
You get
Exactly.
more space on the wing than you get in the center, and he won't get that space to like really accelerate to drive at someone. By the time he gets the ball, he'll have to like think very quickly on the half turn.
And that
And-
would also unlock a very dangerous Theo Hernandez down the left for
He's had a good
France.
tournament.
He's had
Yeah.
a good tournament. And don't disregard Jules Koundé. Even he's bombed forward quite frequently and he's done it well.
Yeah, in fact,
on the right.
Yeah, the Belgium game, he was the
He
one.
was the one who was
exactly.
advancing more than
Theo Hernandez.
because that was basically because Doku
Yeah,
just doesn't fall back. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't track back. So that's why Deschamps figured that out and told Koundé to advance more. So that's something they have to look out for as well.
So France have lost only one of their last 14 games against Portugal. So they've won 11 and they've drawn 2. So they have a really, really good
Yeah.
record against Portugal. The only loss came in the Euro final
yeah.
where Portugal ended up winning 1-0 on the day. So with that, we'll get your prediction first, Aditya. What do you think is going to happen in this one?
So unfortunately I see another boring game. So I'll go 1-0 France again.
1-0 France in 90.
Yeah, 1-0 France in 90.
Raghav?
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a really tough one.
Very
It's
tough.
really tough. I'm gonna go Portugal win. I'm going Portugal win because I can see them ousting this France side because I feel that with a good attack you can get at France at this French team and they can be got at because I also wanted to point out that Mbappe's defensive work rate is also horrible. It's not there. And when you see the defensive third for France, you can never see number 10. You never see number 10 who is there helping out his defense, and that's something that also worries me because you're effectively playing with 10 players. That's what Portugal are also doing, but they found a way to work with that because they know that Ronaldo is that. But with Mbappe, you expect some sort of defensive work. But I'm gonna go for 2-0 Portugal.
2-0.
2-0 Portugal.
Both
Okay.
goals coming towards the end, something like that.
No. It's gonna be a first half, second half goal. It's like one first half, one second half.
Okay.
Yeah, an early goal would really open this game up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we
Early
need
goal-
an early goal.
Yeah,
in
it would
this.
really open this game up.
Or else it's gonna be another
Yeah.
Belgium France because they'll be in their shell. Both will be like second half. We don't want to concede. But if one goal comes in,
Yeah, then
it
it'll
could
be a
really
bit
be a
more fun.
basketball game.
So yeah, for me, I think this is gonna be a very cagey affair.
Yeah.
I feel like that, but I feel this is gonna go to penalties, and I feel Portugal are gonna win on penalties again, because
Yeah.
if this is going to penalties, I can see Portugal take it
Yeah.
because the quality of these guys, the penalty takers that they have are
Wow.
just on another level.
And
Because
Diogo Costa seems
Yeah,
to be a beast.
we
give
have-
credit
yeah.
to that guy, he was amazing. Like the
Also, those penalties weren't top notch.
Yeah,
Like, they were at a comfortable height, but you still have to save
yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
still have to go on the right
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
You have to
guess right and
anticipate.
you have to get
I
a
think
good hand.
their team has done a lot of like good research because they
Yeah.
knew exactly which direction they'd go, and then it's up to the keeper to make
Yeah.
those saves. But and
Exactly.
like he said, they were comfortable height.
But you still
But
have to
you
work
But
have
in
to save the
penalties,
hand.
that's what Bruno does so well.
Yeah,
When you see the way Bruno takes the penalty, like he's completely outfoxed Oblak because
yeah,
he looks at the other side,
yeah,
and when he strikes the penalty, his body is facing this side. So Oblak thinks that he's going to go towards Oblak's left,
yeah.
but actually he at the
Yeah.
last second he just changes his stance a little, and he goes to the other side. So it's a penalty which is so difficult to read.
Yeah.
But yeah, Portugal have a lot of good penalty takers. So I feel this is going to go to penalties because, I'm not particularly impressed with both teams
Yeah.
in terms of how they've played.
Yeah.
And I don't think so they will want to go very attacking. But talking of a team that I have not been utterly impressed with, I'm not going to talk much about this team
Here we go.
Yeah.
because I've already made a 8-minute video. If you guys have missed it, I'll link it in the description or I'll put it on top. You can check that out as well. I've given my piece about England. So
Please.
yeah,
Take it away, Raghav. Please.
England, Raghav. They go into a game which is going to be very tough. Switzerland have been one of these teams that have been so impressive, facing two big opponents.
Mm.
England are playing Switzerland.
Yeah.
You got confused, no?
No, I thought you were referring to the round of 16 tie. Sorry, I was a bit lost. Sorry. Yeah.
So
Continue.
so they're playing Switzerland.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Switzerland have been one of these really good standout teams. We all had our dark horses. We said Austria. We'll talk about them.
Yeah.
But Switzerland have been that team alongside Turkey that have made it this far. You are an England fan and you've had your problems. You've had your problems about Southgate, but that game in the round of 16 was another low. Give me your thoughts, quick thoughts on that.
Like when you think that he can't stoop any lower, it does. He finds a new level to stoop and says, "Oh, like it's the, you've seen that placard meme, like my expectations for you were low, but holy fuck,
Yeah.
like what is this? Like what how, like it's seriously. I want to hold that placard outside the England team bus when they arrive for the quarterfinal, and I'm gonna be a classic. I'm gonna put a classic dialogue and say I don't know what to expect out of this team because like there's so much potential. Like you see those 11 squad players assembled. You see Declan Rice. We've touted him as the player of the season. Cole Palmer has carried Chelsea to a 6th place finish. Phil Foden, player of the season of the Premier League, 4-peat with City. Kyle Walker, experienced City campaigner.
Harry
Like,
Kane,
Harry Kane, top scorer in the Bundesliga.
Saka
okay.
finishes second.
Yeah, Saka, standout player for Arsenal. Like Jude Bellingham, the player of the
Champions
season,
League winner.
Champions League winner and favorite to win the Ballon d'Or. Like these are not regular players. These are players who come from, like, there's another meme. They drive the costliest of cars. They wear the most expensive of boots. Like it's that meme. Like I seriously can't comprehend how they perform at such a low level. Is it that it's too much ego in this side that they don't want to play against each other? Is it that the manager is too stubborn? He looks too stubborn to change things.
I think there's a togetherness in this team. I don't think that's
there
a
seems
problem.
to be, but still that needs to convert into performances. For a successful team, that needs to convert into performances. And you need to find a formula quick. And that's what friendlies are for. And what are you doing in those friendlies? You're trying and testing something else. You're doing entirely something else. At this point, I wouldn't even mind a back three.
I think that's the rumors. That's what he's going to do because he would.
Because if that works for you, because that seems to be a formula which has worked for Southgate previously. Back three, how much ever we criticize, a back three has worked for him. Be it Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, whatever he comes up,
Midfield
whatever
combination,
antics he comes up with. It's worked for him, and if it works, then go for it.
He'll need to
At
do
this
it
point,
because
they need it.
he's out of two defenders, with Mark Guehi being suspended, and also Trippier might not make
Yeah,
it.
he's a doubt.
That's
He's a
what-
doubt. So
if Luke Shaw comes back, then
yeah, then that is
One
this-
problem solved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's a really good
It's a
I
one big
think that
problem
big
solved.
problem. And Shaw's a good player in terms of also progressing the
Yeah.
ball and
that could also like help the left winger to
yeah,
like it won't be a 2v1 anymore.
Yeah.
exactly.
It
So
won't be a 2v1.
yeah, because
It could
Trippier
help,
normally does not have that
but still
overlapping
Phil
thing, and
Foden-
Shaw has a good cross on him, so
Yeah, exactly.
they'd be hoping for
But
that.
still, Phil Foden on the left is not the solution.
I
for
think
me. It's
yeah,
not,
I think
it's high
I
time that Southgate
I said it
realizes
in
that.
I said it in my video, Aditya, that Southgate needs to be a little brave and say that it's not a team where you be like you have to accommodate your best players. Like somewhere down the line, you also have to find balance, and you have to be like either one of Bellingham and Foden will
Yeah.
play, either one of Gordon, whoever's on the left. You have to make those tough choices, and you have to be like, this is my team. I'm going to look at balance rather than
favoritism.
favoritism. Do you think that is the way that Southgate needs to go? And also, quickly, what would you do considering you saw how England played? What would you do? Would you go to a back three? Would you stick to a back four?
I actually don't know what to do with this England squad because
And also
everything-
answer this. Sorry. Also
Yeah.
answer this based on the fact that you have seen Switzerland play against Germany.
yeah.
So how would you want England to take this game on?
Honestly speaking, I don't know how much they can change in this short amount of time in with regards to their approach and their system because, well, actually, I say system because, but everything I said in the round of 16 episode applies here as well. I said there's no system. I don't see what they're doing. I don't understand what they're trying to do. There's no identity and nothing. There was nothing on display. It was a 95th minute Hail Mary.
Yeah. It was a moment.
Yeah, it was one moment that saved them, saved their entire tournament and his job, basically, Southgate's job. I honestly don't know what I would do with this side because back three, back four, it does not matter what you play. It is also about how you approach that game, as like the mindset in with which you're approaching that game. And England seem all too happy to cede control of games.
Yeah, even after the lead.
I
take the
call
lead.
that. I honestly said as
Yeah,
soon as
yeah,
England take
yeah,
the lead,
even
they're
I
going to
knew
do
that. Yeah.
exactly because that's just how they've been. And I don't know, in the past they've been like this, but it's taken it up to 11 in this tournament because every time they've taken a lead in this tournament, it's like, go ahead, you have the ball, you do whatever you want with it. We'll just try to defend as best as possible. So I don't know, back three, back four. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I do agree that Shaw is going to be a big fix because Trippier, being the left back, he's a really good player, but he does not really have a left foot, and you sacrifice a lot of width on that left side. England have to come out with a lot better to beat
You were
Switzerland.
impressed with Menu in that game?
Menu was good. He seemed to be the only person who's like taking some kind of like initiative in and around the box because the first half no one really wanted to. Everyone was just scared to take a shot. It was like sideways passes around
Nobody
the
even
box.
wanted to come for the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just sideways pass, and then Menu's taking on this like a difficult half volley and stuff like that. And you need a bit more of that in this side, especially when you're coming up against a side like Switzerland.
Talk about Switzerland a little bit.
They've been very good. They've been very impressive. I mentioned before the Italy game and got a bit of grief about it because I watched that game. I watched it back. The game versus Germany. They're threatening. They're dangerous, and they do like to take the initiative in games. And even against Italy, I know Italy have not been the best of teams, but Switzerland did take the initiative a lot in that game. And England being another side that cedes the ball and the initiative a lot, I honestly worry for England. And they really need to, get galvanized by this one moment because Switzerland are nothing like anything they've faced so far. They're a proper team. They're a proper unit. They may not have the greatest of players, but they're very effective at what they do. And just a shout out to Granit Xhaka because exceptional tournament. Like he's second in the passing accuracy, I think only to Kroos. And he's probably a bit more progressive in his passing. So he's really good and he can play that line breaking pass and control that midfield. So England really need to step up, especially in that midfield. And they I don't know. I don't really know what they can do. All I can say is they need to be galvanized by that one moment.
So England have just lost one of their last 24 games against Switzerland in all competitions. They've won 17 and they've drawn 6 and they are unbeaten in 13. The last time they lost against Switzerland was a 2-1 loss in a World Cup qualifier way back in 1981. So that was the last time England lost against Switzerland. So with that, your predictions, Aditya, for this game? You're going with an upset, no?
I honestly don't know because I do think England can actually, when you've just suffered and you have that one moment that spark that can really turn your tournament around. That's very much a possibility with this England side. But on the other hand, it all rests on what Southgate does in game, especially because the key difference between what I see in Nagelsmann and what I see from Southgate is that Nagelsmann is not afraid to make that change and change the gameplay and the style of play and the players around. You drop Wirtz Bundesliga Player of the Season. You bring on Fulkrug to give you a new dynamic. You bring on you start Raum instead of Mittelstedt. All of a sudden, a knockout game. That's unheard of. Like you usually stick to the formula, but Nagelsmann has done really well with switching things up. Southgate really needs to learn that because the reports that he said it himself that Ivan Toney was disgusted that he was being brought on for effectively 2 minutes of that game, and he played a big role in both those goals. So you need to be a bit more proactive and take those decisions sooner. Whether he does that or not, I don't know. So I feel it's a bit tough to predict. But assuming how things have, seeing as how things have gone so far, I will say Switzerland narrowly edging England 2-1 in normal time.
So I'm gonna go for. I feel that this will give you the game where England come in because Switzerland are a bit more attacking, more than any team they faced till now. So I'm gonna go for 2-1 England.
Yeah, I think this is a game which could also play to England's strengths in a way because
on the transition.
Yeah, because I think Switzerland will kind of figure that England are wounded in a way, and they'd want to start fast. If Switzerland take the lead first, it's going to be very difficult for England. But England have to finally turn up and say that we have to get past this because they have to find their mojo somewhere down the line because you cannot wait till you cannot wait for games like this. That's going to turn out. It's not going to happen every time. So I think England need to take a lead on this one, and I believe that Luke Shaw hopefully is very crucial. Hopefully he returns. But yeah, I see a narrow 1-0. I think England. I think they have the defensive acumen to keep Switzerland shut. So I feel a late 1-0 win for England. But we'll quickly focus our attentions now to the last quarterfinal, and that is a little bit of a shock. Austria going off and facing off again. We all thought it's going to be a repeat of Austria and Netherlands. Everyone was prepared for that. We all were being Ranick's Austria, but it was a very, very big shock with Austria getting knocked out. Turkey had a good game plan. They were good in terms of their attack as well, but 2 goals they get from the corner. Austria very wasteful in that game, and Turkey took advantage. What do you make of Turkey's chances going into this game?
I think Turkey, they got that first goal in the first minute, and that was crucial because Austria typically a side that starts really fast, and you saw that from kickoff. From kickoff, they actually did try to get an attack,
and then Austria had a chance to equalize.
Exactly, Baumgartner sent it just wide. So Turkey obviously very impressive. I feel like we collectively jinxed Austria.
Yeah,
we were just very effusive in our praise about how Rangnick set that side up, and they've just about been wasteful plus goalkeeping
Turkey
heroics.
being very clinical, and that save in the end from from the keeper was
really
one
good
of
save.
the best saves I have seen in the last minute.
It's a massive. I like in terms of the quality of the save. I know it's hyped up a lot, and this may be slightly controversial. I think it's a great save. I don't think it's a world-class save.
You think Baumgartner could have done better?
Yes, I do think that. But also, I think given that the keeper was set, and it's a quick reaction, and it's a great save. But it does get hyped a lot because it was a big save. It was the moment
at that time.
Exactly, it was the moment of that save that amplifies the effect of that save. And not just that, he had a one-on-one save against Arnautovic as well. It was a very crucial save. So really heroics from their goalkeeper, and good game plan as you said, and getting 2 goals from corners. Austria probably we expected more from them. They went out with a bit of a whimper. They did have their chances. They did try. Not saying they were absolutely flat. but you expected them to do better with their chances and create a bit more than what they actually did. And I'm sure they'd be disappointed with how they conceded those goals. But just focusing on Turkey, I think they're quite impressive, and they've shown that they can, in a sense, keep sides at bay. Be it by like defending or failing that, their goalkeeper is actually quite good, and he can be relied upon. So can't write them off. They've been historically dark horses in like a lot of tournaments. Euro 2008 actually comes to mind, where they got a lot of last goals before ultimately knocked out by a Philip Lahm last minute goal. So can't write them off yet, even against the side as strong as impressive as the Netherlands have been.
Raghav, what are your thoughts on Netherlands? We believe that it would have been a tough game against Romania. Romania had their chances in that game as well. But Netherlands, two big errors from the Romanian keeper. I think the first goal is a big mistake. You cannot be conceding from there. What do you make of Netherlands' chances going into this game?
I feel that it's gonna be a really tight game because like both teams are on a high, and Netherlands seem to have peaked at the right time. Be it keeper errors. Cody Gakpo was massive in that game.
He's been carrying Netherlands
he's
for
been
a
carrying
long time.
So he's the joint top scorer in this Euro.
Yeah.
With 3.
It's
And,
like 5 players on 3, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Musiala, Mikotadze,
Yeah.
Strands,
Yeah.
Slovakia, and like some 2 more players. Own goal is just
Yeah,
in its
own
own
goal
world.
is ruling the
Goal is-
roost,
Own
of
goal
course.
is just
In a league of his own.
yeah,
Preparing
league
to
of its
sign for Chelsea.
80 million.
So I think Netherlands played really well, and like Gakpo carried this team, but like they made Romania pay for their errors, like defensive errors for the second goal. It wasn't great defending by you, but like you tried to
I cried
play-
myself to sleep last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
tried to play it out of play, but Gakpo great strength, and he's just put it in to a dangerous area where Marlon was alert. And yeah, I think Netherlands have a good chance, and they seem to be peaking at the right time, which is important in a knockout tournament. Like you peak at this time, who knows? Because it could be a 16 repeat. Like even Portugal finished 3rd in their group, and they ended up winning the tournament. So who knows?
Aditya, like you have you have a soft spot towards Netherlands a little bit. Do you think they would have preferred playing a team like Turkey, or do you think they would have wanted to play Austria? Obviously, Austria got the better of them in that game, but what would they be thinking about this opposition, and how do you see them kind of setting up? Do you think they stick to their guns as to how they played against Romania, or do they do something different against this Turkey team?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think the Netherlands have, the top sides tend to stick to their style, and the Netherlands do have earned their right to, be considered one of the top sides given how they've played, especially this last game. And they were, I know Romania had their chances, but also as did the Netherlands, and they could also have maybe widened that gap a bit more. So they can, like, they have earned the right to stick to their guns and be more attacking, and I think they will be the dominant side in this matchup. I think Turkey will also. I don't think Turkey will sit back and just.
I'll give you a stat.
Yeah.
So the last 2 matches between Netherlands and Turkey have seen a combined of 13 goals.
What?
6.5 per game.
Yeah.
Turkey won the last game 4-2 in
Yeah.
March, and Netherlands won 6-1 in September 2001. Both of these were qualifiers for the World Cup. So it's been
Yeah.
it's been a game that has produced a lot of goals,
Safe
and
to say,
it should, because both teams are very attacking in
Yeah.
their mindsets, and then they tend to leave a lot of gaps in their midfield and in their defense that give other teams spaces to kind of. So I can see this game being pretty end to end in that way. I do not see any team sitting back and
yeah,
being
exactly.
like, let's go for a let's sit back for penalties, or let's play for penalties, or
Yeah.
something like that. So with that, what do you think? How do you see this game panning out, and your prediction for this?
I think the Netherlands will probably have a bit too much for Turkey. I mean, obviously, you would have thought that like a reasonable assumption would have been the same for Netherlands versus Austria, but Austria did prove a lot of people wrong with that one. So yeah, I think I feel it's going to be a tight game, but ultimately the Netherlands will have a bit too much. So I think 3-2 Netherlands.
You're going high scoring.
Yeah,
3-2 in
because
full
I
time.
mean, given the evidence of what
Yeah.
you've just said,
Yeah.
yeah, 3-2 Netherlands. And just on the subject of what you said, Netherlands speaking at the right time, another stat that really counts for nothing. The last time the Euros were held in Germany, the Netherlands won
Nice.
in '88.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, doesn't count for anything, but yeah.
Raghav, your prediction? What do you think happens in this game?
I'm gonna go. I'll one up him in the radical prediction. I'm gonna go 4-3 Netherlands after extra time.
4-3.
After the extra time.
Yeah, if this does indeed come true, then Raghav ko kuch dena padega.
Yeah.
Because that is a totally, absolutely wild
Like
prediction.
I just feel like the based on the stats you've given, feel that both teams are gonna just go.
Yeah. It just opens your eyes as to
they'll
how
throw the
these
kitchen
things-
sink at it.
Yeah.
Like as you say, like
No, I
and
mean,
just gonna attack.
yeah,
attack.
but then again, it's a knockout tournament, so I
Yeah,
don't know
same.
how much like it will be a bit curbed. I feel, but yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
a prediction.
because
so.
comparing it maybe to a qualifier
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you have to kind of win.
But still, I feel that they'll not curve from the natural game,
Yeah.
considering how it's going.
Yeah, even I see this game having a lot of goals in it because I think these are two teams that like to go for it, especially Turkey. I've been impressed with Turkey being one of these teams. Special shout out to Romania as well. You all know my thoughts about anti-football, but Romania, Georgia, the way they did lose, but they showed something so much in attacking. They showed the ability that, yeah, we are ready to take the big teams on and we are ready to go and we attack rather than setting ourselves from the first minute saying that we have come here to play penalties and then they even fail at penalties. So, yeah, I think it's going to be... Yeah, I think Netherlands are going to win. 3-1, but a very close 3-1.
Yeah,
Like I'll say Netherlands are 2-1 up, and Turkey are attacking, and then
Yeah.
Netherlands get the
So
third goal on the
Turkey
counter.
Georgia game, basically.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, so with that we've come to the end of the episode, but stick to our channel because we're going to have our instant reaction to the double header that's coming forward. So hit the notification bell so that you know when our videos drop, and also do the usual drill, like, share and subscribe to the channel. And with that, we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.